Every, everybody knows Marta McClintock. Marta McClintock, the Executive Director of the Anacortes Schools Foundation here. She and I have been on the road sharing this presentation, and she has helped host for the district. And I really have appreciated her partnership along with the board, the Anacortes Schools Foundation board. Without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Marta McClintock to actually start us off with an update for the Anacortes Schools Foundation, which will then lead into our district address. So Marta, do you want me to share the presentation, or are you going to start off?
So I can go ahead and share it to start off if you don't mind, and then we'll swap out. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of the meeting tonight. I always appreciate being able to share with the school board and to bring excellent news to the table here. I also am a parent. I have 2 students in the district. So Will is a sophomore and Lauren is a senior this year. And I understand with all of you parents and school board members what a challenge this year has been. And so to be able to come tonight and share some really fun things, some great things that the Schools Foundation has been able to do this year around COVID and the challenges is really pretty exciting. So some of you may have already seen this. I'm going to share a video tonight. It's just a 2-minute video that we put together for our scholarship ceremony last year. But it's also pretty neat that it was created by 2 2019 graduates, Will McCracken and Corin Nerona, filmed this for us. And so it gives a great overview of what ASF does. You guys already know so much about what we do, and these are some of our best supporters, but I just want to play it for you and give you kind of an overview. So I will share my screen here. And
Marta, we're not seeing your screen.
oh. Okay, darn it. Well, it's not, I don't know why it wasn't sharing. It shared well this morning. Let me see. Try this one more time, guys. Well, it's going to be difficult, so I'm not going to share the video. What I am going to share is our presentation to start out, just to give you an update of what we've been doing for the past couple of months at the Schools Foundation. Let's see, is that sharing at this point now?
No. Would you?
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
That
okay.
worked? Okay,
that
super.
Works.
Sorry about those technical difficulties. So the first slide that I wanted to share is what the Anacortes Schools Foundation does. We really support preschool through college students and provide support to all of the schools in the district. We, in fact, just this week approved a COVID relief grant for the ASD at Home program. So that was exciting to see us be able to support some enrichment in that department as well. We have a fantastic board. Treva King is our brand new president as of a couple of weeks ago. Then you can see the rest of our board members there. Brian Adams, Paula Brar, and Renee Vance make up our executive board. And then the rest of the directors there. And then of course, Dr. Irish is an ex officio member as well. So exciting news, what we raised in 2020. We were really worried about this year and weren't sure if we were going to be able to have our events that we normally did. We did end up having the Shell Fun Run virtually. It was a huge success. Shell Puget Sound Refinery helps us put that on. And so it was a month-long mission. We raised over $50,000, which was just incredible, and had more participants this year than we've ever had. Mount Erie Elementary won the School Challenge Grant. So they got an additional $5,000 that I believe they're spending on water bottle filling stations and some other fun stuff. Celebrate the Season is normally our big fundraising event, and that is held at the Port each year. This year it was at Johnny Picasso's, and it was a virtual event. So I hope some of you were able to tune in. It was really amazing to see the community come together and raise over $187,000 during that event. That was corporate sponsorships, individual donations, just overwhelmed by the amount of community support for that. And then, of course, kicking off the year in August, we always have our Ready to Learn Fair, and we partner with the district and a number of community partners to provide all kinds of needed items for some of our students that need a little extra help, some of our families that need some extra support. This year was a drive-through Ready to Learn Fair. So we gave over 500 supply-filled backpacks to students, and Kiwanis was there serving hot dogs, even at 9 a.m. for people that were driving through. So that was a huge success, and we're planning already for next year. Date just got set, it's August 21st of 2021. We also raised money, general fund, in the general fund, which is where most needed, and that was about $28,000. Then a big goal of ours this year has been to support mental health programs. And so we raised close to $110,000 for mental health and are already supporting curriculum in both the high school and the middle school, social emotional programs, and then also the counselor for K through 5. And we continue to work with Dr. Irish and Becky Clifford and Island Hospital to fill in other gaps and sort of continue to support. Our plan is to continue to support mental health and into the future and as long as we need it. Other designated donations, so people have an opportunity and companies have an opportunity to select areas that they want to fund. And so impact, STEM, arts programs, we had our first donation for vocational programs this year. That was an additional $27,000. So total $419,000, and that doesn't include scholarships. So other programs or programs that we funded with this money this year, we just approved on the 30th of January, $32,000 for COVID relief grants. That was all really raised through the Shell Fund Run. And we've already given, I think, about 22,000 of that in grants in the first semester. So we still do have about $10,000 in funding available. And I just received a request today. So that is ongoing. We're trying to be as responsive and nimble as we can to meet the needs of teachers as students come back into the classroom. Primarily, we were supporting remote learning earlier this year, and now, of course, more of that face-to-face. We started with the pandemic in March, responding to some needs through a program called School to Go. One of our board members came to us with this. We were able to serve 55 families with care packages that included some arts and crafts. You can see the photo of the young lady not only building a glider, but also decorating it. So that was really great to see. For a couple of months, we were able to just give a little extra. And that really was sort of the launching point for our biggest initiative this year, I would say, which is our Science to Go program. And that middle picture shows what 975 science kits looks like. We are masked and putting kits together for K through 5 there. And we've been doing that every month with a huge grant from Marathon Petroleum. We've been able to do that. They gave us $20,000, and we have been sourcing materials from Bayshore, Safeway, SIBOs, and then a little bit on Amazon to create 4 weeks worth of experiments every month for every student in our elementary schools. So that has been a terrific program. Again, I mentioned the mental health support, which is ongoing. We also give annually $30,000 in preschool scholarships to make sure that students are ready when they come into kindergarten. $4,000 a year to KidWind, and that is our wind turbine program that Jody Dillon runs in the 6th grade, which is amazing and happening right now. The visual and performing arts have been a new area of focus, and we've been grateful to be able to support band and choir and digital media and lots of different areas in that. We have a program coming up that we've just approved support for, also called Art to Go, with the Anacortes Arts Festival. So those art kits will be distributed to elementary school students coming up in the next couple of months. Ready to Learn Fair, additional funding for that going into 2021. That's about what that event costs, depending on how many backpacks and what the supplies cost. And then our biggest initiative, really the most expensive one, is Impact Summer Learning. And we have funded that. The first year was 2019. We weren't able to have Impact last summer due to the pandemic, but I understand we are on track this year to have that program. And we have some pretty significant community funders for that, and just received a really incredible gift of $10,000 from Barrett Financial Community Caring Project. And so if anyone knows of anyone who was thinking about giving to ASF but has not, this matching grant is for all new donors, and they'll match dollar for dollar. So if you give $10 to the foundation, you're actually giving 20. So that's pretty exciting to be able to have that and advertise that at this point. And then I mentioned vocational studies. We had a grant for that this year. We just approved the Wilson Reading Program, poetry in school, and had a donation toward equity work. And then, of course, for the last 8 years, we have been providing STEM programs in all of the schools. We will continue to do that. And another area of need this year, we knew, was credit retrieval for those students that in the pandemic have missed some coursework and may have to attend some summer school later this summer. So I wanted to share this slide because it's one of my favorites. This represents all of the students that we gave scholarships to in 2020. We normally have a big group picture, and because we did our awards virtually last year, all of the seniors and current college students that we gave awards to sent in their individual photos. And so this represents over 100 scholarships and $245,000 in awards. And we are looking forward to giving that same amount of scholarships, and possibly even more this June, when our scholarships are given to our 2021 graduates. And I do want to announce to this group especially, you know, a lot of seniors, please tell them that March 15th, our awards or our application will open at our website, asfkids.org. And it closes April 30th. This is a different timeline than we've had before, but we wanted to give students a little extra time to fill out the application this year, and also get a little bit closer to that time when they know where they're going to be going. So make sure and tell everyone you know to apply, and it is an online process this year for our application. So looking ahead, I just wanted to close with the fact that we still do have some funding available for COVID relief grants, and then some flexible funding that we are looking to Dr. Irish for the next couple of months, just trying to be flexible and meet the needs of the district as best we can. I mentioned that Barrett Financial $10,000 match to keep that in mind, and then our scholarships and that time frame that they're open. And we also will have an annual newsletter coming out in the next couple of, actually early April. And there's lots of great information in there and some really incredible pictures. So please keep an eye out for that coming in your mail. And then dates, of course, for our Ready to Learn Fair, our Shell Fun Run, and Celebrate the Season. So we have a busy calendar all year, and we are so excited to be able to support Anacortes students in a lot of different ways, and want to just thank you for giving me the time to talk about it a little bit.
All right, thank you, Marta. It is an absolute pleasure to be a part of this partnership with the Anacortes Schools Foundation. I continue to be impressed with your leadership, the board's leadership, and the support that you provide. I am amazed at the amount of resources and network that this community has. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me all.
All right, I'm gonna continue where Marta left off to share the state of the district address. See if I can. All right. All right, so just a quick update on the district profiles, just a little stats about the Anacortes School District. We serve about 2,700 students. We have 400 staff approximately that include our teachers and our classified staff. We have 8 schools, and that is because we've added a new school this year. So ASD at Home is our 8th school that we added, and that was a school that was designed specifically to address our response to COVID-19 and to provide opportunities for our community and students who did not feel comfortable ever returning to in-person learning this year. Some quick stats for you that are interesting. We drive about 227,000 miles a year in a typical year. We serve about 6,204 gallons of milk. We also serve about 194,000 meals, and we maintain about 500,000 square feet of buildings. And we have about 42 acres of grounds to cover. As you know, we have an incredible school board. I am so fortunate to be working with our school board. They, you know, I was just reflecting with them earlier that I have yet to have the pleasure to meet with you all in person and cannot wait for that day to happen soon for us to continue to developing our team. But even in this remote world and virtual reality, I have been so supported by an incredible team of leaders dedicated to serving our kids, making sure that our system is aligned, making sure that we have high expectations for kids and that we are accountable to serving our students. I am blessed to be serving this school board. Also, very blessed to be working with our student board reps. I have never in my career seen a group of students as engaged as our student board reps. The system that is developed by our board to maintain a rigorous opportunities for our board reps to experience leadership is really profound. I am impressed with the way in which our school board reps engage in research activities that support the board, support the district, the ways in which our student board reps consistently engage in discussions, attend professional learning opportunities. I have never seen this level of leadership in our student board representatives, and so grateful for that team as well, and to be serving alongside with them. So as you know, in a typical year, we have annual goals, and the goals typically are around aligning with teaching and learning opportunities. But this year we have faced a pretty severe need to respond to COVID-19. And so our goals have really aligned, our main goals have aligned to support this new reality of education. And so one of our goals has been 88% of students who are healthy, have fewer than 2 absences per month. And that is important right now because we've been managing both worlds of kids being in remote settings as well as a return to in-person learning. And why 88%? In a typical year, 88% of our students attend school on a regular basis. And we really wanted to maintain those high expectations that even with facing this health crisis and the pandemic, facing a remote and in-person reality, that we wanted to maintain that high expectation. We also have a goal to reopen our schools remotely and in person, which we are so close to having all of our kids back to in-person learning. And we wanted to maintain the ability to trace and communicate effectively 100% of all positive cases. We really believe that that we don't want to contribute to the spread and the increase of our cases in the Anacortes community, and the more that we can ensure that we are stopping that spread in our schools is important. One thing to note, as since we have come back to in-person learning, we have had no positive cases in our schools that have been contracted within our schools. All of our positive cases in our schools have been traced back to community. So that means that our protocols in our school system is working, and that we're able to prevent that spread from occurring in the community. So developing a new design of instruction and school in the era of COVID-19 is huge. And I was in a meeting earlier this fall with a high school counselor, and or with many people, and our high school counselor on that committee said that designing a response to COVID-19, trying to design virtual learning and trying to design in-person learning is similar to designing a jigsaw puzzle in a hurricane. And it was the first time that it hit me. It was so absolutely true for how I was feeling and how our team has been feeling this year. Every time that we have built this puzzle and we find the edges, we find the corners, we group all of the puzzle pieces by color and category so that we can lay it on the table and figure out how to put it together. It feels like the hurricane comes through and blows all those pieces in the air again, and we have to start over. Every time the guidelines change, every time cases rise in our community, all of these situations that have impacted us have created an entire new, started us over with redesigning. And it's been a rough year, but in the same time, the team is resilient and keeps coming to the table to put this puzzle together. And we are actually just a few days away of launching our in-person learning for high school. And I'm very pleased about that. And none of this could happen. This puzzle of putting this puzzle back together over and over and over again could not have happened without our incredible partners in the community. The city of Anacortes, with support from Parks and Rec and Mayor Gear and our police department and others in helping us problem solve and provide networking opportunities for me as a new leader in the system has been incredible. Our Skagit County Public Health Department by far has been the most responsive to our needs, and I am so grateful for them. Every time we have reached out for support, they are there to answer our call within hours, sometimes even minutes. They have never have left us stranded and have always provided clear guidance for us, and I am so grateful for that partnership. The Port of Anacortes also has been a huge support to us in regarding networking and serving in leadership roles and helping us understand and helping me as a new leader understand this community, and Island Hospital as well, with everything from helping us find nursing support, helping guide our decision-making, the Island Hospital's foundation and helping with mental health supports is profound. So none of this could happen without our community partners. So we have had a successful return to in-person learning for our pre-K through third grade learners and students in November. And then unfortunately, all students had to return back to student learning on to remote learning on November 25th due to guidance from our county health department. And then fortunately, we were able to pick up all those puzzle pieces again and redesign and make sure we had staffing available. And we brought back our pre-K through fifth graders and students receiving special education services in the life skills program and other small groups of students across the system back in January. Grades 6 through 8 returned in February 8th. It's been a week and a couple days since they've been on campus. And grade 9 through 12 will be returning to in-person learning this coming Monday on February 22nd. So I'm going to share with you a video of the inside of what does it look like for our students in the middle school. We created a video similar to this for elementary that has already been published and shared multiple times in the community that you've had access to. Our middle school, like I said, just opened, and we produced a video for our community and staff to see what the user experience is like for our staff and for our students. This same exact model of what the middle school model is, the same exact model rollout for our high school as well. So I am going to share this out, and let's hope that I can share sound. There we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Justin Irish, and I am the proud superintendent of the Anacortes School District. We are so excited, very excited, to have our students return to in-person learning. In November, we returned our elementary students to school for in-person learning, and then returned them in January. And then in February, we had our 6th through 8th grade students return to in-person learning. It has been an incredible opportunity to see kids come back to school. I can't see them smile, but I can certainly see their eyes twinkle with excitement. It's fun to see them, especially as the secondary students came back, nervous that first few hours, but then by the end of the day, they were chatting and happy. It lightened our world to see them enter our schools. Our teachers and our staff have been working really hard to design quality, high engaging lessons in the classrooms. You know, it's interesting to have kids sitting 6 feet apart in the classroom, but our teachers are designing lessons, ways for them to engage regardless of how far apart they are from each other. Even though our kids are sitting, again, 6 feet apart in the lunchroom, kids are able to engage and talk. Even with the masks, it's just been incredible to see their excitement and our excitement. And for the mental health of all of us, we're just grateful to be around people. It's in some ways a return to normal. We have a long way to go. And I hope that our normal educational environment is right around the corner. And I know this has been hard for you as parents as you've navigated multiple different guidelines and expectations in our community around what in-person learning looks like. We have felt all along that this has been a united team. I'm grateful to be in Anacortes, and I'm grateful to be your superintendent. And I am even more grateful that our kids and our staff are together again in person. Thank you so much, and I look forward to an amazing rest of the year.
Good morning, Anacortes Middle School. Today's Friday, February 12, 2021. All right, we've got some birthdays today. Hi, my name is Patrick Harrington. I am the Anacortes Middle School principal. I am also the director of safety for the school district. I was nervous coming into this, knowing that I have the safety of students to think about, staff, parents, and our greater community. And you know, the opening has just been great. Just the excitement that they had, and which just energized our staff and me. That's what I've missed for the last 11 months, is that in-person excitement that students, you know, that give us, and the energy that they provide us. And this first week of school has been just amazing. Having my children in school has just, you can see a change in them. And so I'm just happy that we're able to do that for all families in Anacortes. And we're lucky that we have a supportive school district, a supportive community, supportive staff to really get through this, because it's a lot of work and it's different. You can talk, right? This is our lunchroom.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's been pretty smooth, you know, we're just getting into the groove, so it's just different, but I feel like it has to be done if we want to get back.
My name is Addison Conley, and I'm an 8th grader at AMS. It's great to be back in school and to see everybody. Even though we're only back for 2 days, it's better than none. Well, I'm hoping that it stays like going back to school. I hope it doesn't stop.
But I had a student in my room a few years back who said, good Californians eat avocados. And so, like, it doesn't matter, but you do need to remember, groovy cats eat anchovies. What was yours?
Green cats eat ants.
Green cats eat ants?
Hi, I'm Molly Huggins. I am a 7th and 8th grade math teacher at the middle school. I think I had felt a ton of anxiety about coming back to work just because of the unknowns. And as soon as Monday happened, all of that anxiety was left because I was here and I was with the students, and it just showed me that like everything that the district has done has really made it worth it, not only for me, but also for every single kid who's coming. And they're so happy to be here. They're so happy to be in my class. They're so happy to have that time to engage with me. I feel like we're doing the right thing of being here.
Hi, I'm John Ruckdashel. I teach 7th grade and 6th grade English language arts at the middle school. It's been exciting to be back in person with kids. I think that as teachers, since we know that our job is to do what's best for kids, we've probably felt for a while that we needed to figure out a way to get back. And so being back, you can see those smiles on their faces as much as possible by looking at their eyes and seeing their cheeks rise in the air. And we're starting now to get those same reactions we used to get, which is what teaching is all about. You know, being back in person now, I can say, I think we've all gotten over that fear of the unknown, and we see how it works, and it works well. At this point, it just kind of seems like second nature, doing all these different things we have to, whether it be having kids spaced out at lunchtime or lining 6 feet from each other when they're coming in the classroom, having them wash their hands when they start class and leave class. It's just sort of how things are. It almost starts to feel like normal. And I think at this point, everyone feels pretty safe and confident in the routines we have in place.
All right, see you later.
So pretty amazing to see kids in action, to see our staff in action. I couldn't be more proud and excited. I have been on the job now for 7 months, and in a normal situation, I would have a superintendent entry plan that would really help me understand the strengths of the district, the areas of growth for the district. I would, in a traditional setting, pre-COVID, be engaging in conversations, having regular scheduled interviews, seeing classroom instruction. I would be in the community, listening and having coffee meetings and chatting with community and understanding. And none of that has been able to really happen. However, there is a silver lining, because when you're dealing with a crisis and you're all hands on deck, you really get to see the strengths of a district. And then you also get to see the areas of opportunity in a district. And you build trust with people as you're trying to problem solve, sometimes problems that are seem distant and hard to do. So I'm going to share with you my understanding of what I have learned in the Anacortes School District through this planning of a pandemic, but also really thinking about what are our strengths in our system. Where are we on the verge of doing really well? And what are our gaps or areas of growth? So I'm going to start with some of the areas actually, I'm going to first start with just the areas of our goals and where we're heading, and then I'll start with the areas of gaps. Well, one thing that really stood out to me recently is our state superintendent, Chris Reichdahl, recently shared this message that in a post-McCleary world or in a post-pandemic world, this notion of like us moving slowly or this incrementalism is failure to our kids, and that really there will be no return to normal when we come back to school, because normal didn't really work for all kids before school, before pre-COVID, and that we have to maintain these high expectations that that after this pandemic is over, we still need to have the urgency of addressing the huge disparities based on race, income, ability, mobility, and language, and that we must be courageous enough to be able to reach excellence, not just by understanding these disparities, but raising the expectations of every single student in our system. And as we can see in our system, we do have areas of need. We are doing a really great job of supporting all of our students. And based on our data that we present to the state, our annual assessment data, we are making great progress by state standards compared to other districts. And yet at the same time, we continue to see predictable groups of students that are struggling and that we as a system need to be responsible to address. And that is our English language learners and how we are addressing the system, how the system is addressing the needs that our students with limited English have in our system, as well as our students experiencing income instability. And that red arrow somehow got missed there, but that is another area that we need to focus, is our students who are experiencing income instability, and how can we improve in that area, as well as students who identify as Latino and students who are receiving special education services. Our district has focused on 5 pillars to help us frame our work around how we are addressing those gaps, as well as continuing to support the achievement of all kids. And those 5 areas are quality instruction and curriculum, maintaining effective partnerships within our community, stewardship, making sure that our resources are well used, and that we're attending to the social emotional learning of our kids. And all of these areas are about creating equitable outcomes for kids, and that we need to address where those gaps are in the system. And the gaps of student learning. So one of the words that keeps popping up as I've been interviewing and listening and observing the system is this need for coherence. And I want you to imagine that we were to build a car of the very best parts. We take the Porsche brakes, we use a Ferrari engine, we take a Volvo body, we have a BMW chassis, and we put it all together. And what do we get? We get a car that doesn't work. And what I have heard over and over and over again when I was interviewing for the position, as I've been engaged in meetings, as I've been listening to staff, is that this notion that we have a lot of great things in our system. We have a lot of great initiatives in our system. But how can we align those systems so that this notion of initiationitis doesn't overwhelm people? And that all of these best parts, all of these great things, all of these great combinations of resources actually aligned in a coherent way creates positive outcomes for kids. But when those systems are just laid on top of each other over and over again, that it becomes superficial. And from a user experience, the classroom teacher or the principal really has a hard time navigating all of those initiatives. So what are the areas that we need to examine further? I have learned that we need to promote clarity and coherence across our system. We don't want a system where we have all the departments in the district office, our teaching and learning, our operations, our human resources, our principal supervision, transportation, et cetera. All of our departments at the central office giving different directions, different expectations to our school principals and to our teacher leaders and teachers in the classroom and our other staff across the organization. When that happens, it creates a lack of coherence. But instead, what we need is a system at the district office that is focused, that we're sending the same messages to our principals and leaders, and more importantly, that we're engaging with our teacher leaders and our school principals and helping create this coherence so that we can promote high quality teaching in every classroom so that all students are learning at high levels. We also need to promote a distributive approach and shared accountability across our system. And that leadership seems to be siloed. That we need to create teacher agency in our system, that we have incredible teachers and staff in our system that need an opportunity to be at the table to help design the work. That we have principals who also need to be designed alongside our district leaders, making sure that that alignment is focused, that we are creating together as a team professional development that is actually meaningful and relevant to what the classroom teachers are experiencing, what the classroom teachers need. That our professional learning communities, that are school improvement processes, that are school-based supports and cycles of inquiry that are designed by teachers and designed by principals, and that those systems are coherent, and that there's regular feedback loops, so that when these systems aren't working, there's opportunities for us to redistribute resources, redesign procedures, so that at the end of the day, all of these systems are working together to help us reach the closing the opportunity gaps for our kids. There's also gaps that persist between the highest and the lowest performing students, which I shared earlier, and that we need in order to support those gaps in the highest and lowest performing students, that we need a guaranteed and viable curriculum that reflects a diverse population. I have seen over and over again that we have materials that are way outdated in the classrooms, and that we have, in some cases, materials that have not been adopted for over 20 years. And that results in teachers being forced to design and create their own materials. We also need guaranteed and viable professional development with ongoing feedback from teachers and from staff to ensure that that professional development is actually meaningful and relevant to helping them improve their practice. We need intervention systems to effectively monitor how students are performing in real time, and actual data systems that monitor what are doing and what the students are learning across the system. That isn't waiting until the end of the year for us to then look at data, but we can actually look at data that is user-friendly for teachers and for staff and for principals in real time. And also utilizing the funds of knowledge of our community and our students to help us understand what the gaps are in those opportunities. We are also on the verge of doing some things very, very well. And one of those is that the equity policy is really valued across our system. That when I came in as the superintendent, the board has created an equity policy. There is a commitment to that work. And as a result of that, there is a need for continued system-wide professional training around bias, inclusionary practices, around ways in which we use data. There needs to be a shift away from equity as a theory, and that we are designing integrated systems to promote equitable outcomes for student learning, that there's accountability, and that there needs to be a system-wide procedures developed to promote the feedback from multiple perspectives in our community. We have really amazing mental health supports in our system, way more than what I have ever seen in any district. As a new leader in the system, it's important for us to understand each person's role and understand the tier 1 supports for social emotional learning, tier 2 supports within our schools, and tier 3 supports for students who need additional support above and beyond. And so we're in the process of redefining and working through the mental health and social emotional learning strategies within our system, and working with our schools foundation and with the Island Hospitals Foundation to really create more clarity around what those integrated supports look like. And that academic progress is expected and made over time in our system. We see that our academic progress in Anacortes is steady from year to year with high graduation rates. It's something to celebrate. However, those results are racially, economically, and categorically predictable. So we need to address that as we move forward. And then what is working really well in our system? The conditions for leading district improvement is incredible in this system. We have motivated staff across all departments and schools. I am continually amazed at the expertise of our teachers and our staff in our system, and how many teacher leaders and other leaders we have across the system who are engaged and want to continue to be engaged. We have shared leadership across our union groups and our 2 non-rep groups. It is amazing, again, as we've been trying to respond to COVID-19, the way in which our bargaining groups and union groups have been at the table with really good faith efforts, working collaboratively to get kids back into schools. And I am amazed at that collaboration and honored to work alongside these great leaders. We have networked relationships across the system. And that's internally and externally. I mean, it's amazing the amount of networks that are across this Anacortes community. I see, I go to meetings, virtual meetings, and I find out that this person knows this person, or this person's married to that person. It is such a tight community that is networked in really great ways, that is focused on this school system. We have established teacher leaders across all grade levels. We have organized community and public relations infrastructure and strategy, and we have defined community sponsorship and support. These things, these conditions are going to actually make all of the other things that we want to create and build doable. Without these conditions, we wouldn't be able to do anything. And so I'm so grateful that this is the system that we currently have in Anacortes. So that concludes my presentation of COVID-related returning to schools, as well as an analysis of the areas of need and what we're on the verge of doing really well, and what our strengths are in the system. So I'm going to stop there and we'll open it up to any comments.
Thank you, Justin, or Dr. Irish, I should say.
You are welcome.
We sure appreciate that you've come on board for these 7 months of whirlwind hurricane jigsaw puzzling, and you have done it with grace and dignity and enthusiasm and positivity. And so I don't know how we could have been so lucky to have gotten you, but we really feel like we're a pretty blessed district to have you as the leader. We sure appreciate, and one of the biggest things we went for was equity lens, and yours is strong, so thank you for that. And I'm going to give other people a chance, but thank you.
I echo the thanks. I want to say that if how well things have gone in this hectic, chaotic time is any signal for how it's going to go once things are settled down and more back to normal, it just gives me hope for the future of the district. I don't know how many school districts had a brand new superintendent in the midst of COVID and have probably not accomplished as much as we have in terms of getting kids back to school and getting sports and activities started back up again, and attending to mental health of the teachers and the students and the families and all the staff, and just face all the challenges that you face. So the fact that we're in a place where we're celebrating all the successes, despite all of that, makes me hopeful for all of the progress we're going to be able to make once everything settles back down again and we can get to the real work of teaching and learning and attending to those areas where we need to attend to that we've needed to attend to for a while now in terms of students and families and the success of everyone in our system. So thank you.
I want to echo what Erin and Jenny both said. It's been really impressive to watch you work through this chaos and tackling things no one ever predicted or ever planned for, and always doing it with great, as Erin said, grace and optimism and finding the silver lining and just head down. We're gonna figure this out, and then just watching it all, come off virtually without a hitch. At least anything we saw. If anything happened, we didn't. We recovered, and it's been amazing to see the work that you and the district office and the staff have been able to do. And looking forward to visiting the classrooms and having a school board meeting in person and chatting with you in person.
Yeah.
Last time I think we talked, we've been able to walk once in a while, but
Yeah.
That's about it. So we're very grateful, and thank you for the overview.
Yeah, I'll just add, thanks for the update. That was a great update. You were dealt a tough hand, and you kept us in a good place for all this. And I think you've got some great plans in place to meet all of our future goals too. So thanks a lot.
It is a team effort, and I wouldn't be here without an incredible cabinet team, an incredible principal team, incredible district leadership team, teacher leaders, and operational leaders, classified staff. It's been, it's a blessing. I would not be surviving without them.
I think it's probably been 7 months that have felt like 3 years for you, but I just, I've told you thank you 6,000 times, but I don't think I've been in your office, and I'm in your office a lot. I don't think I've been in your office in the last 2 or 3 months where you're not like, hold on, little fire, putting it out on the spot, and you're just jumping in like, everyone has jumped in to do things that are outside of their normal role to keep us. Anyway, thank you. Yeah, and you're always passing the credit on to someone else, so.
Well, yes, and it's deserved for other people. Yeah.
We're so grateful you came to Anacortes, Dr. Irish. All right.
Thank you.
Any other comments?